Hello, welcome to the channel. So, over the last few videos I've been kind of documenting how I've been messing around with basing my Landsknechts and thinking about how I could put them on different size bases. And if you watch the last couple of videos, you'll understand how I've kind of gone through a process of, you know, the 4x4 on a base, 40 by 40 millimeter, and then putting them onto big red back bases, and then moving on to double big red back bases, and then so on and so on. So, and I could never kind of figure out how I could organise them into the classic way that Landsknechts organise their pipe blocks, with, you know, the pikes in the centre, and then maybe a line of Zweihanders or halberdiers around the outside, and then missile troops in the form of arquebusiers or crossbowmen around the outside as well, who would provide missile support, you know, and shock tactics, and then retreat into the pipe block, but also act in a way in which they could be skirmishing troops or act independently as well. So eventually I've kind of figured it out, and I've moved from what I originally had a couple of videos back to this system. So now this is how I've done it. So I've finished 3 blocks altogether. So I've got a pipe block in the centre there. Okay, I've got a pipe block over this side as well. And then I've got the black band, and I've not quite finished this one. I haven't got missile troops attached to it as well, but I have got Zweihanders attached to that one. Okay. So how have I organised it? Well, basically what I've got is in the centre of the block, just move these to one side so we can see. In the centre of the block, I've got the pipe block itself on 2 large big red back bases. So there's the pipe block in the centre. Okay, and all I've done for this, I've just joined 2 big red back bases together, and that's given me a pipe block. Now, traditionally, classically, these guys would be in blocks of close to 400, 500 men. They would be something like 20 by 20 men square, with the drummer and the ensign in the centre, and the fifers in the centre, and around the outside, as I've already said, the gunners and the crossbowmen and the Zweihanders. So there's my pikemen in the centre with their flags, and I think I've gone for Nuremberg for this particular pipe block. So the flags of Nuremberg on these guys. Okay, that's my pipe block. And then what I've decided to do is put arquebusier either side. Now with the big red back bases, it's quite nice. They just slot onto the sides of the block. So now this block can operate as a single unit with missile support. And these are the guys that I've used as my arquebusier. So I put them in kind of, you know, groups of 3, because I want them to be skirmishing troops, really. I don't want them to be too tight and too close quarters. They need to be fairly open so they can skirmish. So 3 on a base, keeping it quite open. And I've actually done them in the colours of the Holy Roman Empire. I just did them in black and yellow. I just thought I'd kind of do them a bit more uniform than the rest of the Landsknechts. And then next to them at the back, put the Zweihanders as well. So the Zweihanders, obviously shock troops, smash through the pikes of the enemy, and then allow the pike to kind of find the gaps in the enemy pipe blocks. The Zweihanders, pretty mean guys. Okay, usually double soldiers, double paid soldiers with experience, with better armour as well. Give these guys the better armour because they're kind of in the front rank of the fighting most of the time. Okay, so Zweihanders. So Zweihanders at the back, behind the missile troops, yeah, attached to the pipe block. Missile troops at the front, because they're shooting, obviously, you don't want to get people in front of them. Now, the idea is then that basically, if I wanted to, I could leave the pipe block alone, and as often happens as well, you know, your missile troops will leave the block, maybe, and fight alone. So just adjust the camera slightly, so move the camera down slightly. Okay. So the missile troops now form a unit on their own. So they're now I would call that a standard unit in pike and shot, and they can operate as a single skirmishing unit, and I can divide them up as well into maybe 2 small units, or maybe into open order, whatever. So I'm getting a lot of flexibility, and the same with the Zweihanders as well. So if we need the Zweihanders to act as a forlorn hope, you know, where they're charging in, bit of a suicide mission, charging into enemy pipe blocks, trying to smash the line, ready for the pipe block to take action. They could act as a forlorn hope and charge in and make a gap for the pipe block. So I really like this idea. I kind of, you know, it's took me a while to kind of figure out how to do this. Should have took less time and, you know, been messing about too much. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with it now. So we've got missile troops. I can split them up using the skirmish order, whatever, and Zweihanders. I'm also going to add some halberdiers to this as well, put them in the same organisation as the arquebusier. I've also got some crossbowmen, so I'm going to add some crossbowmen. I'm going to paint them up in Florentine colours, so red and white, and probably use them as kind of mercenary crossbowmen from Florence. And then that might kind of push me a little bit closer to Italian wars, because at the minute I'm kind of more, I don't know, I'm just kind of building Landsknechts. I'm not with no idea about what I'm going to use them for, but you know, maybe I should now start thinking about some Italian wars units. So some Venetians, maybe, some Milanese, some Florentines, some Papal States troops. Who knows? Okay, that's the kind of the rabbit hole that you go through, isn't it? I'm just going to remove the camera from the stand, just to enable us to look a little bit closer at these. Okay, so move that to one side. Okay, so my arquebusier, my Zweihanders, my pipe block. Okay, and then over here another pipe block, again organised in the way that I was thinking about doing it, with the missile troops at the front and the Zweihanders at the sides. Now of course what I could also do is I could just remove missile troops and put double Zweihanders at the sides. That would be pretty tough, wouldn't it? And then you've got 2 units of Zweihanders for that pipe block, and that would make them a lot more effective. So really, I'm just thinking about in terms of flexibility and usefulness with my infantry, really. So pikes, missiles, and other infantry troops as well. I want to just kind of keep them really flexible, so they're moving around the battlefield quite nicely. Now over this side, we've got the black band with the banners of the Holy Roman Empire, and I've got the Zweihanders attached to them as well, but I haven't got any other missile troops at the minute, so I need to obviously paint up those crossbowmen. And yeah, I might paint up some Zweihanders and some arquebusier in the colours of the black band, and that would keep them all as the same company, keep them all the same colours within that company. So each of these is a fahlein. They're called fahlein. Fahlein is basically a company of around 400 to 500 men, and within a regiment you'd probably have about 8 to 10 fahlein, probably less after a battle. And yeah, so each of these is a separate company within a regiment. Okay, so hopefully that's been explanatory for you, and hopefully you've enjoyed this little process. So this is kind of coming to an end now in terms of the Landsknechts, so I'm probably going to leave these guys now for a while. I'm going to finish off the crossbowmen, add another fine line as well, another company, but for now this is probably the last video I'm going to do on Landsknechts for a while. And obviously in 2 weeks time we've got CrackCon 2, so probably post up a few pictures or videos from CrackCon 2 and the big Battle of Marnik game, the Wars of the Roses game that we're going to be playing, and other games as well, of course. There's lots of other things going on there, so that's going to be fantastic. So that's what I'm really looking forward to in a couple of weeks time. Right, thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Hope you've been interested in what I've been doing so far. Thanks for all the support and some new subscriptions as well coming along. Absolutely fantastic. And I just hope that you really are finding what I'm doing interesting, and hopefully it's giving you guys some ideas as well. So I'm more than happy to help people out and talk to people and chat about basing and the Italian wars, and thinking about how we can organise some games and things, because at the minute I'm actually not playing anybody with these at all, so I need to get some games in. Okay, thanks for watching, take care, have a good day, and I will speak soon. Bye.